Here's something most people think they know, but they actually don't. Michael Jackson wasn't just called African American because he was born in the U.S. His entire identity, culture, ancestry, and artistic DNA are rooted in Africa, more than many people realize. Michael was born to African American parents whose ancestors came from West Africa during the transatlantic slave trade. A genealogy test even traced his roots directly to Nigeria, specifically the Igbo people. And even when his skin changed because of vitiligo, he said it clearly. He was proud to be black. Midway hook here. Here's the part the world doesn't talk about enough. Michael didn't just visit Africa. He connected to the continent spiritually, musically, and politically. His dance styles mirror tribal footwork. His rhythms are built on African patterns, and African leaders welcomed him as a king, literally. In Ivory Coast, he was crowned and adopted as royalty by the Agni people. His humanitarian work raised millions for African famine victims. He visited slave sites like Goree Island and celebrated African history in films like Remember the Time. Michael wasn't just African American by race. He was a son of Africa by spirit.
In 1993, Michael Jackson said something most people today still don't know. During an interview, he openly spoke about his Christian faith, and what he said remains one of the most powerful statements of his entire career. Michael said, "I'm trying to imitate Jesus." He said to be like children, to love children, to be as pure as children, and to make yourself as innocent and humble as a child. This wasn't a PR line. It was the core of how he lived. Behind the fame, the noise, the headlines, Michael believed deeply in the message of Christ: purity, humility, compassion, and unconditional love. People talk about his music, his awards, his iconic performances, but they rarely talk about this, that the King of Pop shaped his entire life philosophy around becoming more childlike, not childish, but pure-hearted, humble, and full of love. Whether you're a fan or not, this interview reminds the world that Michael Jackson wasn't just a global superstar. He was someone who genuinely tried to live by a standard higher than fame itself. The legacy of goodness lives on, and Michael Jackson's light continues to shine with truth, love, and purpose.
Michael Jackson is doing it again, and yes, it's real. His monthly listeners on Spotify have hit a staggering 66.6 million, placing him at number 21 globally among all artists, living or deceased. That's 66.6 million people streaming the King of Pop right now. Think about it. While new stars scramble for attention, Michael's catalog is still climbing charts and smashing numbers. He passed away 16 years ago, yet his music resonates harder than ever. Over 60 million folks are listening right now, and that number is growing. This isn't nostalgia, it's legacy in motion. Tracks like Billie Jean, Thriller, and Smooth Criminal aren't just classics, they're still living albums reaching new ears every day. Every time someone streams him, it confirms the crown hasn't slipped. Young fans discovering him, older fans replaying the era, they all contribute. While others fade after a few weeks, Michael's presence keeps rising. Michael Joseph Jackson's greatness is timeless, his throne remains unchallenged, and the King of Pop continues to reign supreme.
Here's the real truth behind Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal, the song that turned a simple CPR lesson into one of the coldest hooks in pop history. While recording the Bad album, Michael kept hearing the phrase, "Annie, are you okay?" during CPR training. Instead of just learning first aid, he turned it into a global question the entire world still sings almost 40 years later. Smooth Criminal wasn't just a song. It was a science project, a crime thriller, and a dance revolution all in one. That heartbeat you hear at the beginning? It's a real digitally sampled heartbeat. Michael recorded 70 layers of vocals to build that sharp, aggressive sound. And then came the anti-gravity lean. Everybody thought it was magic. It wasn't. It was a patented shoe design created by Michael and his team, locking into the stage so he could defy physics in front of millions. The short film wasn't just a video either. It was the centerpiece of Moonwalker, inspired by 1930s gangster films, full of machine guns, fedora shadows, and some of MJ's cleanest choreography ever. Smooth Criminal wasn't made for the charts. It was made to be legendary. This is the legacy of Michael Joseph Jackson. The King's impact lives forever.